It's BS. Telling you guys right now, it's BS.
You think so?
Oh, I know. So, based on our experience, we're wrapping up year number 3 of full-time RV living. We're going into year number 4, which is totally planned, ready to go. So, a year from now, we're going to talk to you again about year 4.
And that's so unlike us to have that already.
Yes, we're going to share with you the likes, the dislikes, the unexpected, and we're here to tell you so much of what you see on YouTube about RV life is BS.
Yikes.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now, and I'm here to let you guys know.
Wow.
We are Chris and Katrina, and this is our everyday getaway. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. Once again, we're wrapping up year 3. You looking forward to year 4?
I certainly am.
Year 4 is totally planned.
And it's totally different than we've ever done before.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
So you guys know we're serious about full-time RV living. Now, full-time RV living can be on the road the entire time or the road and home base. So we kind of split the two, but we're still living full-time in the RV.
Inside the RV.
We're wrapping up year 3. Do you when we take a look at those 3 years overall?
Yes.
Let's start out. We're going to start out with dislikes first. Let's focus on the negative first because there's a lot of negativity, a lot of negative content in the YouTube RV genre. Let's talk about our dislikes.
My dislikes, they're huge. Let me just warn you, they're huge. I'd like to have a bathtub.
You don't need a bathtub.
I like to take a nice warm bath once in a while. So I can't do that. Okay, someday maybe I'll get to do that again. But my major dislike is not being close enough to family, grandbabies all the time. We do come back and see them. They come out and see us. We do get to see them, but it's not the same as, being able to see them every week or so.
And I think that's a fair dislike. Mm-hmm. I think most of you who do full-time RV living, you'll agree with that. That is the toughest part. The bathtub thing, I think that's more of a lady thing. We've talked about that in other episodes before. I don't think that's a huge dislike.
A glass of wine, it just kind of bubbles, it's all good.
Okay. Yes.
Chris is going to buy me a bathtub. You said you would buy me one.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a dislike.
Oh.
And this gets into many of you are Thousand Trails members. I have a love-hate relationship with Thousand Trails. I genuinely dislike Thousand Trails, but I like the fact that you can save money with Thousand Trails, and I do like TTO, which is Thousand Trails Orlando.
Wow.
And there are a few other places I like too. But here's my problem with Thousand Trails. It's the making a reservation. They do not secure you a specific site. I prefer to make a reservation and secure that site. It just, that way you're not in a rush. You're not fighting with anyone to get that spot. It's one of the things that if I were to pick one way or the other, I would bypass Thousand Trails just for that reason alone.
So you're trying to say you don't enjoy arriving at Thousand Trails and sitting along the side of the road and fighting with everyone?
No, I do not.
You don't like that?
I'm not a fan of that. So it's one of those things that I dislike. And if you guys are paying attention, think about this. The dislikes we've mentioned are really minuscule when you think about it. It's really not that big of a deal.
If you're going to bring up Thousand Trails, then I'm going to bring up Harvest Host.
Oh, no. How dare you?
I have a love-hate relationship with them as well.
No. I love Harvest Host.
I love Harvest Host. I love going there, but I hate the fact that you end up spending so much money. You pretty much are saying, oh, we're going to Harvest Host for free, or we only pay so much a year. And that is our most expensive place that we stay at, I'm sure.
It is a tough thing to balance. I'm sure many of you have been to Harvest Host and you've stayed. Heck, we've stayed at a Harvest Host for free. But if I had to choose between Harvest Host and Thousand Trails, I'm going to take my Harvest Host. I'm going for the Harvest Host.
That's because Chris does not worry about the budget. Chris is like, yeah, it's just a budget. You only live once, blah, blah, blah. But
that's a good philosophy to live by.
But you're living beyond your means. I was raised to pay off the credit card bills at the end of the month and be very diligent about not living above your means.
And that's fair.
Chris so much is like, oh, I'm enjoying myself. Life is wonderful. Let's have a good time. Which I think if we combine both of them, it's a good combination.
But you guys know that commercial, the priceless commercial. Harvest Host is priceless. Thousand Trails, you can say it 1,000 Trails, and they're just bad. and there's nothing fun,
Not
and there's
all of
nothing
them.
inspirational.
Not all.
No, not all of them. Many of them. That's dislikes, and we have very few dislikes, and I think that's something we need to mention or focus on. We don't have a lot of dislikes because in our travels there hasn't been many dislikes.
You just like drive days.
I do dislike, you're right. I'm not interested in driving more than 5 hours a day. I would rather keep it between 1 to 4 hours. I will go into that fifth hour up to 5 hours. So I don't like long travel days in this rig. When we had the smaller rig, it wasn't that big of a deal.
True.
And the bigger rig, towing a vehicle, I prefer to keep it easy and simple, especially the 333 rule, whatever that is. You guys know that. But yeah, so and really when we think about it, this is what we're trying to say. We try to focus on the positive, and we don't have a lot of dislike and a lot of issues and problems. And I think sometimes when it comes to content creators in the RV life, that gets exaggerated and it gets overblown. And I understand why as a content creator, I get it. But I think if you're on the fence about going full-time in this RV life, keep that in mind. Remember that. Try to think about the overwhelming experience so far has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
What about unexpected?
Well, would you start off with that? Because I could.
Well, the unexpected in our experience now, on 3 years on the road, the unexpected, it hasn't been evacuating a campground because of a bad neighbor or a fire coming into the area. It hasn't been troubles and issues with the rig. The unexpected for us has been the medical thing.
Oh,
the medical thing has really put a damper, I guess you say a damper, on our travels. From me going to the hospital to going back from Florida to Maryland unexpectedly for a medical issue, even to Tucker. So it would be the medical.
Tucker to me has been something I really didn't think about. You just think about you're going to take your pet along with you and everything's fine. And you know, when you go back or whatever, you have a shots, done again for the next year. But gosh knows if they get sick on the road, that's an issue.
And the last year has been more of an issue with Tucker than the prior 2 years. And it's just one of those things that I think if we were to sit down before we got into full-time RV living, I would expect problems, breakdowns, flooding of campgrounds. These are all the things that you see with content creators.
Well, and you plan for evacuations. That's one thing you do. You plan. What do you do
if
a storm comes in? Where do you go? When you get there, you figure out like the safety spot to stay at. But we didn't think about
the one thing we didn't think about that we thought about the least was medical issues. And that's the thing that really has been an issue.
Absolutely.
So it would be, the unexpected would be the medical part of it. Is there any other unexpected things? I mean, there are times when we make reservations and we have to change them out because something comes up. But that's been kind of few and far between.
Or if we make plans to go somewhere and we're just not feeling it at all when we get there, then it's unexpected that we have to make other plans to leave there because life's too short to stay somewhere for weeks at a time if you're not enjoying yourself. That's the thing about this lifestyle. You are afforded the ability to change your plans, wrap it up, and move on if you're not having a good time.
Another dislike, now that I think about it, would be the channel. Now I'm going to go back to, and here's why. I'm not complaining. It's, as a content creator, trying to constantly come up with interesting content, and we try to keep it inspirational here, positive and uplifting, and trying to work out. And many days I am in the RV doing editing and trying to figure out that it's really not as easy as some may think. It may be easier for others, but for this guy, it's not easy. So it is a struggle, and it has taken away from the overall RV experience. I am not complaining, because if I were, I would stop. I continue to do it, but that's just the reality, and it does take away from the RV life experience. But now we get to the positive, the good things, because we saved that for last. That's the most important. These are the things we want you guys to focus on. Always focus on the positive. And that would be the channel. The channel is a positive. It's been a blessing.
It's allowed us to do so many different things. And the main thing I think it is traveling this gorgeous country that we would have never traveled. We would travel other ways. We would have flown and things. We wouldn't have seen it in the same respect. I've always enjoyed traveling by car or by train. The RV is just that on steroids, and all the friends that we've met along the way.
This channel has allowed us, it was totally unexpected for
Yes.
us to be where we're at now, this 3 years into this. It's allowed us to meet so many people that we used to watch before we got into our RV lifestyle. Phil and Stacy from Today is Someday, and a few others, to be able to be part of RV Unplugged, and to be able to meet Mike and Susan, who are now our besties, to be able to be a part of RV TV, which has been great. It's been we met Dan. He's been so nice to us, and then to meet the subscribers, Bob and Michelle.
Bob and Michelle, we had a mattress giveaway. They won the mattress, and then we ended up meeting them at a campground.
Top sale.
Top sale.
Top sale.
Just because of that. And now they're one of our besties. They're great, wonderful people, and we would have never met them. And the funny thing is, they spent a lot of their time raising their family in Pennsylvania. So, and they're Navy. So now we are able to go to some Navy games with them when we're in Maryland. Who would have thunk it? It's awesome.
That is the flip side of having a channel. Another positive was just traveling this country. We love America. We love our country through and through.
Absolutely.
And to be able to travel it and meet so many great people and meet subscribers and to meet just people in general. The channel has allowed me to conquer a fear and to become more social. And now I can walk up to strangers and just start a conversation, and it's been a blessing. It's been so great. And that wouldn't have happened. That never would have happened had we not made the decision. Thankfully, she made the decision to do this full-time travel. This is why we want to tell you it's great.
I didn't make the decision.
You did.
What I did was, Chris had always wanted to do this, and then because of some life experiences that we had, I just said to him, let's do it.
And
let's do it, because I didn't want to do it. I was like, I don't mind going out there here and there, but I didn't want to do it full time. Now that we've done it full time, it's been a blessing.
And this is what we want to convey to you guys. This is why we say it's BS. 99.9% of our travels and our experience in this lifestyle has been a blessing. It's been great. It's been fun. We've had a few breakdowns here and there. We didn't go without our breakdowns. But the overwhelming experience of this lifestyle has been fantastic. When we sit around with our friends at campgrounds and we talk, the vast majority of talk is good, positive stuff. It's not negative. So when you see these content creators dwell and focus on the negative, I get it, I understand, but that's not what this RV life is about. I'm calling BS. This RV lifestyle is flipping great, guys. It's been such a blessing, and yeah, it's easier for some than others because we're fortunate enough to have a retirement and we can kind of work things out. We still have a budget. But if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it or you're putting it off, don't wait for something tragic to happen.
Because it will. Because eventually something happens to all of us that changes or impacts our lives. So do it now. And even if that means just going out for long weekends, something like that, you don't have to go full time. But get out there. You will not regret it.
Even if you have to get out on a smaller rig and then eventually one day you work your way up to a bigger rig, do it. I don't care what these guys say. It's all bull. It's BS. I'll call them out every time. This lifestyle is great, and we hope that you guys get that. Go back and look at our videos. You'll see it's all good. It's all positive, and it's because this lifestyle has been great. And we know we got season 4, or we got year 4.
Season 4.
We got year 4 coming up, and we're already working on year 5. That's how it is, and that's a little over a year away.
And that's shocking because I guess we're getting better as we've been on the road years because we actually fly by the seat of our pants.
And that's another thing.
We do. We don't do a lot of planning. A little bit here and there, only the bare necessities. We're doing really good.
One more thing. Yeah. This lifestyle is not hard to figure out. It's not difficult. There's plenty of content, free available content online to help guide you on your journey to become a full-time. It's not that difficult. It is. I'm telling you, it's easy. We did a little bit of planning, but we didn't sit out and buy some big program or some
expensive course.
Take courses or something like that. If you want to do that, go for it. Knock yourself out. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're here to tell you, you don't need to do that. There's plenty of free content available right here on this channel. We can help you out, tell you, state parks, national parks, RV campgrounds, Corps of Engineers, boondocking, all that stuff. Yep. And we'll put you guys can check out these videos we'll put up here. We'll put some videos up right here. You guys can check that out. Make sure you look at those and take the time to check them out, and they'll give you some helpful advice and let you know that the full-time RV life is great. And as we like to say here on our channel, any day you can get away.
It's a great day, guys.
Guys, take care.
See ya.